Welcome, class. It is Dr. Lindner, and in today's class, we're going to be talking about the endocrine system. Now, when we talk about the endocrine system, it's kind of similar to the neural system, right? In terms of its function, because it controls and coordinates a lot of the human functions. So we have to do a little bit of comparison between the neural system and the endocrine system because both the neural and the endocrine system, they act together to coordinate all the functions of the systems of the human body. The neural system releases what we call neurotransmitters to control, whereas the endocrine system is going to release hormones. But any way we slice it and dice it, these are just really chemical messengers. Okay, some are going to turn on the switch, and some are going to turn off the switch, right? So some speed up, some slow down. Some are the on switch, some are the off switch. Most hormones circulate through the blood, and they're going to bind to receptors that are going to be on what we call target cells. But neurotransmitters also bind to receptors on target cells. So lots of similarities between the two. Now, we talk about the endocrine system. We have to at least give a little shout out to our friend, the exocrine glands. So we have endocrine glands and we have exocrine. If we look at endo, it looks like inside, and exo for exit, right? EX. So exocrine glands are going to secrete their products into ducts, all right, none of which are hormones. And these exocrine glands are going to be our sweat glands that are called sudoriferous glands, our oil glands, which are sebaceous glands, our mucus glands, digestive glands, we have wax glands, right? All of these things are essentially going to secrete to the epithelial surface, right? To the surface of the epithelium. So in certain cases, that could be above the skin, right? So we know sweat and we know oil are going to take us right to the skin, and they're moving through ducts to get there. But digestive glands, whether they're in the stomach or the intestines or in the pancreas, these are not secreting things above the skin, but the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, whether it's the inside of the stomach or the inside, the lumen of the intestines, that's still epithelium. Okay. So when we compare the exocrine, we have these exocrine cells that are going to secrete these secretory products. They move through a duct-like system to the epithelial surface or to outside the body. Whereas endocrine glands are made up of endocrine cells and they're going to secrete their products, which are going to move through the circulatory system with the blood flow. And those are called hormones. And they're going to be traveling with blood through blood vessels till they reach their target cell. Now, some glands are both endocrine and exocrine, and we call them mixed glands. So which gland is a mixed gland? Well, the pancreas has both endocrine and exocrine function, so it's considered to be a mixed gland. Now, the endocrine portion we will learn today because the pancreas is involved in regulating blood sugar. So we have insulin. That's a biggie. And we also have glucagon. Glucagon. Now, that's the endocrine portion. The exocrine portion is going to be part of the pancreas that are called acinar cells. And acinar cells, these are exocrine, and I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe between 80 and 90% of the pancreas is actually exocrine function. It has a major digestive function. It's involved in breaking down proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So the pancreas does push out pancreatic carbohydrates and pancreatic lipase and pancreatic proteases to break down carbs, fats, and proteins. Okay, so it's both endocrine and exocrine. The endocrine glands secrete hormones. The endocrine glands do not have ducts. Instead, they're going to secrete their hormones directly into the interstitial fluid that surrounds them. The hormones will diffuse into the bloodstream through the capillaries and eventually are going to be carried out to their target cell. And endocrine glands include the pituitary gland, the thyroid gland, the parathyroid gland, the adrenal gland, your pineal glands. These are just a few. We'll talk about these. Now, there are certain organs and tissues that are not part of the traditional endocrine system that also secrete hormones because part of that organ or tissue, they have secreting cells. So secreting cells are found in the hypothalamus, which is in the brain, the thymus near the sternum, the pancreas, the ovaries, the testes. So ovaries and testes, you'll cover with the reproductive system, but it has secretory cells, so there's endocrine function. Well, the kidney is part of the urinary tract, urinary system, but it has secretory cells. The stomach, the liver, the small intestine, well, these are part of the digestive tract, but they all have secretory cells, so they have some endocrine function. Even the skin has endocrine function. The heart has endocrine function, fat cells, and even the placenta. So we're going to come back, and in our next short video, we'll talk about some of the main glands and we'll talk about some of the hormones that they produce.